ensures you, okay, from having a higher incidence of spoiled ballots. Okay, so for example, if you are at the top or at the bottom, voter education is very easy because of the level of illiteracy. If you say Estrohwa, everyone understands that. You mean the top. If you say Asiewa, everybody understands that I should go to the bottom. Now, if the number is another number, it can be difficult. If it is 2, it's not that difficult.
Okay.
If it is 3, it's not that difficult. But other numbers may prove to be complex for a certain class of the electorate, depending on their awareness level and their ability, their whether or not they are literate, and so on, can affect their votes. So that is why you see political parties having a keen interest in balloting.
I see. We have had John 3:16, and I believe you know where this is coming from. You've
Yeah.
also seen number 2, second coming. What
it's all about,
what number are you eyeing this time around?
Slogans and catchy phrases have their role in every campaign. When you have a catchy slogan, it is easy for the people to remember.
Right.
And so it enhances the effectiveness of your communication of the subject matter. And that is why, beyond the issue of how easy people will be able to locate you on the ballot paper, sometimes the numbers also matter because of the significance of numbers.
So are you eyeing any number this time
So you know
around?
that Ghanaians are very religious, some are superstitious and all that, and numbers have meaning in that context of religion, faith, superstition, however you want to look at it. And so that is why these things are of importance to political parties. But for me, the process has to be fair, it has to be transparent, and whatever number you pick, it is
So
your
NDC
responsibility.
is not eyeing either
It is
1,
your
2, or 3.
responsibility to communicate that number. I have my own wishes as to
And-
the
and
number
that is?
I wish our representatives will pick, but that can only be a wish if the process is fair and transparent.
We would like to hear that wish. Which number are you eyeing?
No, I'm not telling you that, because very soon we'll get to know the number we pick.
Are
So
you
if,
afraid
if
that
we end up picking any of the numbers I wish for, I will let you know.
between the first 3?
I think that's a no-brainer.
Okay.
The number any of the political parties will wish for is a no-brainer.
Okay.
People know the numbers that, and I think I've even given the indication
Enough
in this
elaboration.
conversation
Absolutely.
that will make it easy for the electorate, irrespective of their literacy level, to locate you on the ballot and vote for you with ease without spoiling the
Right.
ballot.
We'll just wait for the outcome of that balloting, which I believe will conclude shortly. But let's talk about the recently held demonstration, which I dare say shook the country. In your assessment, how was it? Did you achieve what you wanted to achieve?
The objective of demonstrations are usually not achieved in a day or in a matter of days. But to the extent that the demonstration was well attended, and here I'm not talking about just Accra, I'm talking about all the 16 regional capitals, to the extent that attendance was overwhelming across the 16 regions. And we had Ghanaians from all walks of life. You had civil society organizations, you had drivers, you had the Kada riders, you had KIAs, you had traders, and so on. I would say that the demonstration was a great success.
Okay.
Another highlight was the fact that it was largely peaceful. And aside the Ashanti region, we did not record any cases of violence or injuries on the part of either protesters or the police who were offering us security.
Okay.
And that, for me, as one of the key organizers of the demonstration, is very, very heartwarming. We're beginning to see a change in the posturing of the Electoral Commission. The fact that they actually decided to adopt the 24-hour economy, stayed awake, and issued a press release as late as 1 a.m., indicating that they had received our petitions and they were considering it, and that at the right time we're going to hear from it. That was refreshing, and that was a marked improvement on the kind of belligerent, intransigent arrogant posturing of the Electoral Commission we have seen in previous times. So we'll wait to see what the EC's response will be relative to the substance of the issues we have raised.
Now,
it is only after that takes place that we can say for sure whether the objective has been met. But for us as organizers, we are satisfied with the turnout and with the peaceful nature of the process.
Right.
And I think that the demonstration across all the 16 regions has awakened the consciousness of the nation. It has deepened awareness on the issues we are raising, and a lot more people are getting to understand the issues. Yeah.
I know you said the demonstration was largely peaceful with the exception of what happened in the Ashanti region, but one issue that caught a lot of attention was the National Cathedral. A group of demonstrators deciding to break in to see what's really happening there. And I know you know that Rafels, the lead convener for the Fix the Country movement, has been arrested. What are your thoughts on that? Do you agree the police are doing the right thing?
No, not at all.
You don't think that...
The arrest of Rafels, and I got information in the morning that he was being released. I don't know whether he's been released yet, but if he's still in custody, then it's a big shame.
Okay.
It's a very...
You don't think that his act constitutes destruction of public property?
What property is that? What property
The National
did he
Cathedral.
destroy? But is there a cathedral
The
there?
fence.
A fence? What fence? I didn't
We
see any
understand
damn big
he
fence.
broke a fence.
No, he didn't break a fence. You see, what is happening there is, the waste of taxpayers' monies on the totally useless project, which has no positive bearing on the livelihoods of the Ghanaian people. And Raf, like all of us, is a Ghanaian. He's a taxpayer.
So you support
And so
what
if
he
the
did.
if the government of the day has taken $58 million of our monies and wasted same on that hole, which has now turned into a swimming pool, okay, then you cannot say that he has engaged in any act of illegality or criminality.
Okay.
I don't think you can say that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I believe you've heard a response from the NPP regarding your protest. They say that if the Electoral Commission gives into your demand and actually conducts the audit into the register, they're also going to protest. Do you think, what do you think of that?
What do you expect from the NPP? Because they are the beneficiaries of the manipulation of the electoral roll
by
the Electoral Commission. And so you expect them to be happy about what is happening
their
and to do
concerns,
everything within their means to protect the perpetrators of the criminal manipulation of the electoral roll.
But their concern is that you claim to have identified a number of discrepancies in the voter register, but till date you haven't presented those evidences to the Electoral Commission.
Nothing could be further from the truth. The truth of the matter is that when we detected the criminal manipulation of the register and the discrepancies we are lamenting about, we wrote to the Electoral Commission and demanded for a meeting, and actually requested that the media be allowed to telecast the proceedings live. For some strange reasons, the EC did not allow that.
Okay.
But the meeting happened, and at that said meeting, we did a PowerPoint presentation of all the issues we had found in the 2024 provisional register.
So the EC has seen
and
your
so
evidence.
we gave them samples of the cases that we were complaining about, and in all cases, they admitted, they conceded that we were right. You understand? Of course, you cannot. We are talking about discrepancies that affect over 300,000 voters. Of course, one meeting will not be enough for you to exhaust all the issues and take the EC through the whole gamut of cases. But at least for every category of discrepancy that we raised, we presented multiple examples which they admitted. For example, when we spoke about illegal criminal transfers done by district returning officers of the Electoral Commission, we adduced evidence to substantiate the Pusiga case, where 38 people, we've since discovered more, but at the time we had detected only 38 people who vote in Tamale South who had been transferred illegally to Pusiga against the law because they had no notice or knowledge of the said transfers, which clearly flies in the face of Regulation 22 of CI 127, the law that governs voter transfer. And so that is a point. That is a point that the Electoral Commission
Sammy, we'll still stay on the EC, but let me hold you on for a bit and just give our audience this piece of information. Now, the balloting is still underway, or maybe has ended, and Baumia picked number 1 with John Dramani Mahama, your candidates, picking number 8. Is that satisfactory for you?
I think that's a very good number for me.
Number 8 is a good number.
It's a very, very good number for me, because what are we trying to achieve? What we're trying to achieve is for John Dramani Mahama, number 1, to break the 8 years of corruption, the 8 years of nepotism, the 8 years of, arrogance of power, economic mismanagement, which has plunged all of us into the mess we have on our hands. So that number 8 signifies the fact that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is coming to break that 8-year cycle we've seen, in the hands of the NPP, which has brought nothing but suffering, untold suffering and hardships on the people of this country. Another significance of the number 8 is the fact that our goal is for His Excellency John Dramani Mahama to be able to serve a second term and to do 8 years. Because the constitution of this country gives everybody the right to serve as president for a maximum period of 8 years. He's done 4 years. And the struggle we are currently engaging, our whole quest in this campaign is for him to be able to get a second term and do 8 years. And I think that number 8 signifies that. And so it's a very good number. Put in a lot of effort to communicate that.
Okay.
And I know that is a number that is going to bring success and victory.
Okay. I mean, despite its significance, as you say, you've also talked about that there's some level of illiteracy. Would that number help you, in educating the voting population?
Well, I must admit that other numbers are easy for people to appreciate that than the number 8. And so, despite notwithstanding the points I've already made about what number 8 signifies, it only shows that we need to put in a lot more effort to educate voters about the position His Excellency John Dramani Mahama will be on the ballot. That's what it means. But it is not an insurmountable task at all. It is something that can easily be done.
Okay. You were talking about the EC. I'll just let you have the last word on it, that we move on to something else.
Yeah, so look, we've raised very serious issues that border on the sanctity of the electoral process, because they border on the credibility of the voters' register. And you know that the bedrock of every free and fair election in the world is the credibility of the register. Once you get the register right, the job is done in terms of ensuring that the election is free and fair.
Right.
And therefore, we are determined to ensuring that the Electoral Commission produces nothing short of a credible register.
And
the issues we are raising are not mere allegations. They are issues backed by incontrovertible facts, which we have demonstrated to the Electoral Commission, all of which they have accepted. What we are asking for is for us to have an independent audit into the register and its IT systems to ascertain how these discrepancies happen in the first place and to put in place practicable measures to forestall same. And once that is done, we also move to the stage where those responsible for these manipulations, these criminal acts, will be sanctioned to serve as a deterrent to others, and more importantly, produce a register that all stakeholders will have confidence in. That is all we are asking for. And if the Electoral Commission has nothing to hide, if the MPP has nothing to hide, they should be happy about an audit, because it will vindicate the integrity of the process.
In the event that
once you see that they are moving for opacity instead of transparency, then you know that they have something to hide.
That is the Electoral Commission.
Yes, and the New Patriotic Party.
And in the event they fail to honor your requests, what are you going to do?
Oh, well, we have said that we are going to stop at nothing in ensuring that the process is fair. And when I talk about the process being fair, I'm talking about the processes leading to the election, during and after. And one key milestone in that process is the production or the certification of a register that is credible.
Okay.
You see that it is the people of this country who have the right to decide who their leaders should be. Not Jane Mensah, not Bosman Asare, not those MPP foot soldiers who have been recruited into the Electoral Commission, some of whom are serving as IT consultants and so on. The people must decide. And so, any Ghanaian 18 years and above and of a sound mind who is registered must not be disenfranchised. They must be allowed to vote. And so we cannot have a situation where over 4,000 of these voters have been deleted from the register. We've presented the evidence. The EC has accepted it. We cannot have a situation where the voter transfer register is bloated by over 243,000 votes.
Okay.
That is unacceptable.
Okay.
And we cannot have a situation where over 15,000 people have been transferred illegally in violation of the law. All these illegal transfers must be reversed. But even before we do that, we need to investigate the IT systems, audit it, to check whether it is robust as claimed by the EC or it is porous. We think it is porous. And the leakages must be plugged for us to have a strong system that will engender the confidence we need for this election.
Okay, let's move away from the EC and talk about Gyamfi. You are a student of environmental science, so I know you know how
did you know?
I have my sources. I mean,
Okay.
I know you know how important it is to protect the environment. In this Gyamfi fights, over the period, we have seen that now the new twist, it's the fact that it's been politicized. In fact, NPP is saying that the NDC cannot be absolved from the Gyamfi menace. This is the direct words of Richard Ahiagba, and he's citing the fact that in 2020, your candidate mounted a campaign podium and said that he's going to grant amnesty to jailed illegal miners. So my question to you, Sammy Gyamfi, is the NDC dedicated to battling the Gyamfi menace?
The NDC is totally committed to the fight against illegal mining. And our record backs this commitment. These are not mere words. If you check our 2024 manifesto, we have promised to wage, quote, a ruthless war against illegal mining. Those are the words in the manifesto, a ruthless war against illegal mining. And in fact, we have promised to review the Minerals and Mining Act to impose stiffer punishment on mining in water bodies. We have also promised to roll out the Blue Water Project Initiative and the Tree for Life Initiative to reclaim and repair our devastated water bodies, forest reserves, and lands, and to transform them into sustainable ecological zones for job creation. And so our first task will be to reclaim the environment, because the turbidity levels of our water bodies today are beyond acceptable levels. And the Ghana Water Company Limited has told us that. And that is a threat to water supply in this country. And in fact, the BBC has predicted that by 2030, Ghana will be importing drinking water. In fact, the importation of water has already started. And so we are going to focus on reclaiming those, polluted, mercury, lead, cyanide polluted water bodies to make them treatable for purposes of drinking and usage in our households and so on. We are also going to reclaim the devastated forest reserves. We are going to make forest reserves rest zones for mining, like it was the case when we're in office. When we're in office, it was totally illegal for one to mine in a forest reserve. So we are bringing that law back so that political apparatchiks cannot go into forest reserves to mine. And we are imposing stiffer punishment on mining in water bodies. Aside that, we are introducing the first of its kind gold board, which is going to take the form of cocoa board. The gold board, the Ghana Gold Board, is going to be for miners and the gold industry what cocoa board is to cocoa farmers. So you're going to have gold board regulating mining, providing training to small-scale miners on the best mining practices that they need to engage in so that they do not hamper the environment. They are going to provide equipment financing to support them. We are not coming to ban mining. Let me make that clear. The NDC is not going to ban mining.
In any form.
The NDC is not against mining. The NDC's position is that we must promote responsible and legal mining. So if you're a Ghanaian and you want to go into mining, you will have that opportunity to go into mining, provided you are willing and ready to mine in accordance with law and to mine responsibly. You will not be allowed to mine in a water body. You will not be allowed to mine in a forest reserve. But any other area you can mine if you have your lease, your mining lease, which therefore means that you will be regulated. You will undergo compulsory training. You will be supervised to ensure that even as you dig, you are covering the pits, you are planting trees, and so on. Once you do that, nobody will have a problem with you. We are not going to make mining the preserve of our party food soldiers like the MPP has done in the name of community mining. We are not going to make illegal mining a free-for-all venture for functionaries of our party like the NPP has done. Look, the damage the New Patriotic Party has done to our environment will take decades for us to repair.
I see.
And that is one of the main reasons why, if you are listening to me, you must make it a point to vote out this government.
Okay, don't worry.
Because
I will give you the chance to tell Ghanaians why they should vote for the NDC.
They are a danger to our collective survival as a people.
I understand. But what I want to know is, per your own words, the NDC is going to be instituting stiffer punishment to miners, but your candidates...
Stiffer punishment
to
for miners who mine in water bodies.
In water bodies.
And ban mining in forest reserves.
Okay.
And also prohibit any government official from engaging in mining, whether legal or illegal.
And at the same time, John Mahama is going to give amnesty to jailed miners. Help me understand this.
Yes, because number one, the jailed miners we are talking about here are not the people we should go after.
But they are complicit, aren't they?
No. You see, first of all, let's understand something. To give amnesty to a prisoner does not mean that you support the act of that prisoner. If that were the case, then all the presidents we have had in the history of this country would be supporters of murder, rape, felonies, and so on. I've heard a lot of people make these arguments, but this is the first time I'm taking time to address this. The President of the Republic of Ghana is given the discretion to give a pardon to a prisoner or to give amnesty to the prisoner. And so usually on Republic Days, presidents give amnesty. Akufo-Addo has given amnesty. Google it, you will see the stories. And sometimes the amnesty is given even to murder convicts. You get my point. Does that mean that the president supports their act? No. It only means that these people, after being punished and after serving that punishment term, have shown remorse, and so the president wants to give them a reprieve. That is the meaning of amnesty. The crime still stands in the book, unlike an unconstitutional pardon. So that's number one. Number two, with regards to convicting and imprisoning those who engage in illegal mining, I dare anyone to show me a real owner of a Galamsey site who is in jail today. Just one example. I can challenge anybody to show me a real owner of a Galamsey site who is in jail. You will not get one. You know the people who are in jail? The workers at the mine. Those people cannot buy an excavator.
But they are still
those people cannot buy
in the process, aren't they?
No. But you see, if you keep
they are all contributing to the destruction of our water bodies and forest reserves and
why
whatnot.
go after the symptom instead of the cause? Why go after the symptom instead of the cause? The people who must be in jail are those who own those sites, those who buy the excavators, the equipment, and all those things. Those equipment are very capital intensive. Those young people who are there working at the site, I mean, they are not the ones actually responsible. They are not the root cause of the problem. Yes, I'm not saying that they should be left off the hook, they must also be punished. But I'm saying that the real perpetrators of the crime are those who own those sites, those who finance their operations, those who recruit those young people and pay them. And this government has shown that they are not interested in pursuing such people. Okay. And that is why none of them are languishing in jail. They caught a woman who was nicknamed, a Chinese woman nicknamed Galamsey Queen. I'm talking about Asha Wine. And decided to leave her off the hook. Said she should go back to China, and so on and so forth. And day in, day out, you see, how can galamseyers arrest galamseyers and put galamseyers in jail? Is that even fair? The entire MPP government is a galamsey government. From Akufo-Addo to Bawumia to the ministers to the MCs, all of them are doing galamsey. The evidence is there. Clear. Frimpong Boateng has said so. Haji Alima, the former minister for local government, has said so. Their own functionaries have come out to say so, and we know it is the truth. So how can these people become galamsey police, galamsey prosecutors, and galamsey jailers? You see, the only way... I'm just wrapping up with this sentence. Okay. The only way we can nip this canker of illegal mining in the bud is when we boot out this galamsey MPP government. Okay. It's as simple as
I just want to find out from you briefly. Mahama will still give jailed miners amnesty.
Yes, at least those do it. Because some of them are even almost done serving their term. You understand? If you can give amnesty to a murder convict, how much a poor young man who decided to go to a galamsey site to do bad day and get something to feed their family. Okay. And like President Mahama said, we believe that right now they are remorseful. And so if we give them amnesty, we are going to take them through training on how they can engage in responsible and sustainable mining to make a living. Okay. That is what we are going to do.
Okay, that's okay.
So it's not like we are going to give them amnesty and then allow them to go into illegal mining. No, all of them have learned their lessons, and we don't think they will do that.
See.
In any case, they are not the real perpetrators we should be pursuing.
We have listened to the NDC talk about job creation through the 24-hour economy. But one of the interesting things I find in your manifesto is with the scrapping off of the betting tax. Our people have argued that there are so many bettors because of the rate of unemployment. So when you say that you're scrapping off that tax, are you not indirectly promoting betting?
Can you take that again? Sorry.
I'm saying that we have seen in your manifesto that you're going to be scrapping off the betting tax. But there's a school of thoughts that says that there are so many bettors as a result of the unemployment rate. Yeah. Why are you taking off the tax? Are you not...
Why shouldn't we take off the tax? Why should we... What if I win a bet, I stake a bet that Arsenal is going to score Chelsea, and Arsenal scores Chelsea, and I guess I'm 500 Ghana cedis. Why must government dip its hands into my pocket and take 10% of that? Why? Does it happen in UK? Does it happen in the US? No. The government can tax the betting companies on their profit. It is done in all advanced jurisdictions. But for the little bets these young people are winning, it is insensitive for government to tax that. Look, if you eat one full cow and you are not satisfied, one chicken will do nothing. This government, despite promising to move us from taxation to production, has imposed over 40 tax measures on us as a people. We are paying COVID levy. How many years after COVID subsided? We are paying e-levy. We are paying many taxes that don't make sense, emissions levy, and so on and so forth. Why must we have another levy on betting? Look, the betting companies are already levied. They are already taxed, and they are paying taxes to the government. If that is not enough, government can make a case for that and increase that. But why should nobody want their sibling or child or ward, or friend to resort to betting as a source of living? No. But you see, betting has become a necessary evil. It has become a refuge for the teeming unemployed youth of Ghana. My sister, there are no jobs. People go to school, they finish school, there are no jobs. People want to learn a trade, they want to learn a skill, there is no help. Even for those who are working. Hold on, let me end with this point. It's very important. They are earning, peanuts that are not able to even take them for a week. Look, how to even make, afford 1 square meal a day is a daily struggle for many Ghanaians. What should they do? Should they go and steal?
But you are
So it
promising
is
to
better-
create jobs, aren't you?
No, but that is not an event. The creation of jobs will not happen on 7 January 2025 when John Mahama is sworn in.
Okay.
So what we are saying is that this thing has become a refuge for them. And the bet we are talking about is not the gambling that we knew of when we were growing up. This one is football prediction. This is not like using what we used to call spa for gambling or
Okay.
going to a casino.
Okay.
This is match, fixtures.
Okay.
So this team will score 2, this team will score 1. The guy gets some small 1,000 cedis after losing, over a period of 3, 4, 5, 6 months.
I see.
Then
Sammy,
one day he wins some 1,000 Ghana
let me-
cedis
let me- let
and
me-
Bawumia takes 10%. Is he got to take tithes?
Okay, let me just ask you this. A lot of economists have argued that widening the tax net will probably solve the economic situations in the country. So if you're scrapping off the betting tax, wouldn't it defeat this purpose?
No.
It won't.
The widening of the tax net has got nothing to do with the scrapping of taxes. Widening the tax net means expanding the tax base and bringing into the tax net those who don't pay taxes.
Okay.
So you're talking about those in the informal sector who are earning income, but they are not paying taxes. And government is only relying, in fact, overly relying on those in the informal sector, like in the formal sector like you, who earn a salary. So government is supposed to come up with innovative ways of bringing into the tax net all people in the economy who are working, earning income and so on. That is what we mean by expanding the tax net.
I see.
But scrapping the betting tax has got nothing
Doesn't
to do with that.
defeat
Not
the
at all.
purpose.
Not at all.
Unfortunately, we are out of time. That was
Yeah.
so quick, but you get the final words. I mean, I have to be fair to you. Tell Ghanaians why they should retain the NDC come December 7.
In how many seconds or minutes?
In about
2 minutes?
45 seconds. No, 45 seconds.
Your colleague gave me 2 minutes.
No, we were supposed to be leaving at 30. It's 29.
Well, my message to your audience is a very simple one. In the next 81 days, we'll be making a very important
78.
choice. 78 days, yes. We'll be making a very important choice. We'll be going to the polls to elect a president and members of parliament. That is an opportunity presented us to make a change in the governance of our nation and by extension in our own lives. And so the vote, how you vote, is going to impact your future and the future of your children and their children's children. You know the state of our country and the state of your life today, and you know that everything is in a mess. The MPP has used the last 8 years to destroy our economy and to plunge all of us into untold hardships and suffering. This is the time for change. Like Kennedy Japan said, change is calling on us, and we cannot afford to waste this opportunity. This is the time for us to vote for a man who is tried and tested, a man who has done it before, a man who is credible, a man who is honest, a man with a proven track record,
Right.
a man with a superior vision that can bring about the change and the positive transformation we all yearn for. And that man is none other than the man we call the nation builder,
Okay.
His Excellency John Dramani
And you are
Mahama.
sure that going into this election, Rojo won't be taking tea and biscuits?
Not at all.
Okay, thank you very much.
we are going into the election like Azuma Nelson with our
Okay.
own referee in our
That's
pockets.
okay.
And vigilance is our watchword.
All right, thank you very much.
Thanks
I've been
for having me.
engaging Sammy Gyamfi. He's a National Communications Officer of the NDC, speaking to us there on the campaign trail.